Hello, my lovely rose garden, and welcome to Roselin Reviews. I'm Avalon Roselin, indie author, and your urban legend investigator for the evening. The Devil in the Woods is a novella written by fellow indie author S. Jean. While I would consider Jean a friend, please note that this does not impact my review of their work. I am honest in my reviews and expect the same of any friends who review my books. With that out of the way, The Devil in the Woods delivers just about everything I could want out of an atmospheric fall read. It's short enough that my attention didn't wander, but nothing felt rushed. The pacing was solid throughout, which is one of the hardest aspects of a book to get right, especially when the reader is me. But seriously, this book had everything. Believable friendships, queer romance that gets a little messy, urban legends, fae horror, cults, and it's set in October. Amazing. The plot kicks off when Felix Graves, high school stoner extraordinaire who is actually trying to get his life on track so he can graduate, agrees to help Charlie and Vivian, who run a blog debunking urban legends, with their latest investigation. They go to the local spooky woods at 2 a.m., and Felix invokes the summoning ritual, only for him to disappear. When Charlie, Vivian, and Felix's friend Jaden find him, something isn't quite right. Felix doesn't have clear memories of what happened to him in the woods, he's sleepwalking, and mysterious trees keep sprouting up around him, like the forest wants him back. The Devil in the Woods is split between 4 perspectives: Felix, Charlie, Jaden, and Vivian, and I love all of them. I love how hard Felix is trying to be better despite his anxiety, how much Jaden cares about him, how Charlie is a tough, no-nonsense badass who still has a soft spot for her friends, how passionate Vivian is. They're all good characters and come together to make an awesome cast that the reader wants to see come out on top. Their reactions to everything going on make sense, especially as they have to toe the line between giving their attention to this investigation and helping Felix, and also keeping up normal appearances at home and school. As I said, this is a novella, so there's not a lot of time for things like school to distract from the plot. I think that Jean did a great job balancing these aspects, with the school scenes furthering the plot and in many ways adding to the tension rather than distracting from it. I also really enjoyed the texts that the characters send. A lot of their personality comes through in the way they type, and I enjoyed the little character portraits that Jean included with the messages. Even without them, I think I would have been able to tell who was sending which text, but they were a lot of fun, and I like Jean's art a lot. I suppose I should mention that they are not only the author, but also the illustrator for their books, which I love to see. I want more illustrations in books, even if it's just these little faces. I don't know what I was expecting from the finale, but it definitely wasn't what happened or the swerve into fae-adjacent horror, which is a woefully underutilized subgenre in my opinion. But in order to talk about that, I'm going to have to get into spoilers. So if you want to continue without being spoiled, I highly recommend picking up the book right now. It is available pretty much anywhere that books are sold online as far as I'm aware, and Jean also has a Ko-fi account where you can donate directly to them and get an ebook copy, so I highly recommend doing that since that's how I got my copy. If you are leaving this video now, please leave a comment sharing your favorite urban legend. Bonus points if they are local to your area specifically. If you are leaving the video now, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. I make videos about the books I read and the books I write, and your support really makes a difference for an indie author like me. If you're interested in supporting me even further, please consider buying my books or becoming a patron. You can find the links to my website, Patreon, Ko-fi, and social media accounts in the description. Alright, now let's talk about the titular devil that is in the woods and how it got there. First, props to Vivian and Charlie for successfully pulling off the "we are doing a report on local history for school" ruse to get information out of the few people in the town who actually know something of what's going on. There was a cult, though not much information remains about them, even from those who were around when it was active due to something messing with their memories, which summoned something in the woods. That same something has been targeting people who go into the woods ever since. If someone goes into the woods and lights 6 matches, they get taken by whatever is in there, which is what happened to Felix. What that thing does with them after the fact was where the Fey elements come into play. The original legend that Vivian and Charlie were debunking revolves around a young woman named Carrie who, after disappearing in the woods, came back. In pieces. And on those pieces were written the message, "Come find my still beating heart." Only the woman they interview, Abigail, states that those body parts were not Carrie's, which begs the question, whose were they, and how did they manage to replicate Carrie's face on the fake body parts? Spruce trees have also started growing around areas that Felix lingers in, trees that definitely weren't there before, and they are singing to him, a song only he can hear. Because this Felix might not be the same Felix that disappeared, but some other creature. Except it is. For now. Maybe. I'll admit the ending does get a little confusing for me. From what I understand, the devil is some kind of fairy that was summoned into the forest by the cult, but it can't leave unless it has a suitable vessel from our world. So when it's summoned, it takes the summoner and swaps hearts with them, using the them from its world to store their hearts while placing its own within the human vessel. Ultimately, the answer is to set everything on fire, so they do. Felix takes his heart back, stabs the devil's heart to stop it from being able to leave, and then the group burns the woods to the ground. All's well that ends well, and the gang hangs out to watch scary movies for Halloween. Post-scripting Avalon coming in with an addition because I just watched I Saw the TV Glow, and there are definitely some parallels that you could draw between that movie and this story. So I think that if you really enjoyed I Saw the TV Glow, you should really give The Devil in the Woods a chance. It's definitely different, but it has a lot of the same vibes, and the whole heart thing really reminded me of this book while I was watching I Saw the TV Glow. So that's my recommendation. I think that you should check out both of them, and if you really liked one, you're probably going to like the other. Does the ending get kind of confusing and surreal? Yes. Do I hate it? No. It takes a few rereads, but it matches the tone and lore that has been building throughout the story, so I don't mind. When all is said and done, I love The Devil in the Woods, and I would love to see it adapted for film or maybe a short animated series. It's definitely one of my go-to reads anytime I want to get in the spooky spirit, and I highly recommend it to anyone, especially those who prefer shorter stories with great characters. If you've been reading any indie horror lately, I would love it if you left a recommendation in my comments. And of course, while you're there, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and be notified of the next video that comes out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to my patrons. If you'd like to see your name here or in the description below, please consider joining my Patreon. Your support means so much to me and allows me to continue making content. If you want to support my content in different ways, consider buying my books, donating on Ko-fi, subscribing to the channel, or even just giving this video a like and comment. Any and everything is appreciated so much. Keep growing till next time, Rose Garden!